What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can get pre-booked appointments as a life insurance agent. And just for some context, if we haven't met yet, my name is Tim Shooker, and I'm one of the co-founders of Advanced Agent Marketing. And inside of my company, we've helped literally hundreds of life insurance agents learn to generate their own leads and start getting their own auto-booked appointments. Now, what I've personally found is when you have a system that's set up, you can actually get a little bit over 10% of your overall leads to book an appointment with you right when they come in. And this is after they've already pre-qualified themselves to be ready to buy insurance. So I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in just a second. But before I dive into how you actually generate the auto-booked appointments, let me just kind of explain why it's important to even do that in the first place, right? So what most people do in the industry is they go through and they buy a stack of leads, and then they get that lead and they just they call it with their cell phone and just try to get as many people as possible on the phone, right? Now the problem with that is you end up wasting all of your time dialing, and all of your leads are basically the same, right? And when I say they're all the same, they're all expressing the same level of interest. What you want to have is basically a system where people are self-filtering themselves as far as how high intent the lead is. So what I mean by that is in our funnel, the one I'm going to kind of show you guys how to build and what it actually looks like, you have the leads that come in, and then a percentage of them will fill out an extra survey to pre-qualify themselves, right? Percentage of those people will then book an appointment. Now, the people that book an appointment, those are your highest intent buyers because they actually took time out of their day to select a time to want to speak with you. So even if that person doesn't show, you now know that you need to follow up with that person and give them extra attention, and you can focus most of your efforts on the highest intent leads of your overall lead base. So that's essentially what this strategy allows you to do. Instead of just calling with your cell phone through this massive database of leads, you're able to have these people self-select and filter themselves out and have automations based off of the different stages that they're in, right? So obviously you're watching this, you're on a YouTube channel. Feel free to check out our other videos. We put out tons of free content to help insurance agents make six figures over the phone, stuff about sales, stuff about how to underwrite, stuff about how to generate leads, live call recordings. Check it out. There's tons of stuff on there, right? And so basically using this exact system ourselves, over the course of the last 6 months, we've written over $312,000 in approved annual premium, literally using this exact system. And we actually were able to also generate over 6,000 high intent final expense leads and send them through this funnel, right? So we've proven this, the system works, and I'm going to kind of break it down for you guys here. So here's kind of some results. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can start getting results like this. These are our clients who have sold tons of policies off of self-books. Here's another policy from a self-book, another policy from a self-book, another policy from a self-book, right? Here's a client who wrote $6,000 in 2 days only working self-booked appointments. Here's another guy who wrote $5,000 in 5 days and all he did was work his self-booked appointments, right? And ultimately, the end goal is to show you guys how you can get your calendar like this so that you can spend more time talking to people and less time, chasing them. So there's basically 5 steps to this system. The first step is your ad, right? And I'm going to show you guys how to kind of configure each of these different pieces. The first step is your ad. The second step is your instant form on Facebook. The third step is your calendar page and survey. The fourth step is your calendar. And the fifth step is automations, right? So let's start with the ad. So this is just an example of an ad so you guys can see what actually works on Facebook. This is not the type of ad that I'm running anymore. And the reason why is this particular one, this is using the state approved burial fund angle, which used to work in the past, but the problem with this is you just get a bunch of people that think it's free, and we've ended up finding that there's a better way to do this, right? If you guys want to learn more about that, there's a link down below in the description that kind of explains how that works, where we can help you set up your own ads and do all of that. But we can obviously talk about that later. So the first step is your ad, right? And so the goal with your ad is you want something that's going to be attention grabbing and calls out the people that you want to be your customers, right? What I've seen works really, really well on Facebook is an attractive, colorful image that just really pops, or something that has human faces. Those are usually the 2 best angles, but you need to think that when somebody's scrolling through Facebook, they're just mindlessly scrolling. And so you need something that's going to catch their attention and really draw them out of that scroll, right? So that's what your ad is supposed to do. This ad is a perfect example of using bright colors and then having a call to action. Besides that, I wouldn't really run this type of ad, but I thought it would be a good example for you guys. So the second step of the funnel is once they see the ad, you send them to an instant form, right? And so on the instant form, you're going to ask a few things, right? So obviously you have to collect their basic, like their contact info, but I always like to ask 2 questions. So one of the questions is going to be a multiple choice, right? Multiple choice. And then one is going to be a fill in the blank, right? So like they type it basically. So the multiple choice, one thing that I've found really helps, like when you actually are going to convert the people with these questions, you don't want to just ask a dumb question like what's your favorite color or just something random. You want to ask questions that are going to help you in the sale. They're going to help you convert. So for the multiple choice, I'll usually ask them like, do you currently have life insurance? And then I'll give them 2 options. Yes, I already have life insurance and I'm looking for more coverage or to replace coverage, or no, I don't have life insurance and I'm looking to get some. So either way, they're telling me they want to buy. And so that's what I found works really, really well with the multiple choice. You can set that up in your instant form inside of Facebook. And then for the fill in the blank, I usually like to ask the beneficiary, and then I have them type the person's name in, right? So they type the person's name in. And the cool thing about this is, you guys will see in the 5th step, the automation, I can actually use that person's name in the email that I send to the client. So they're going to type in who their beneficiary is. Let's say, they type it in, their beneficiary is going to be Jim Bob, right? Then in an email, I can send them something that has like subject line, protecting Jim Bob. And that's going to catch their attention. Like imagine somebody sends you an email, and the subject line is like, do you still want to protect? And then it's your wife's name, like, or your husband's name. Obviously that's going to catch your attention and cause you to click and take action. So that's how I set up the instant form. And then the basic info that I'll ask is like, first name, last name, email, phone number, date of birth, and state. And that's pretty much all that you need. So after the instant form, we're going to have a link at the end of the instant form that sends them to a landing page, right? So we're going to say like, wait, there's one more step. Click the link down below to see which part of the program you qualify for, or something along those lines. And then we're going to send them to a landing page that has a survey, right? And so this survey is going to ask them more qualifying questions, right? We always like to ask like their gender, and then we try to get a little bit of info on their health so that we can already start like working on the underwriting process. We'll also ask them if they're married. And if they are married, we'll ask them if they're looking for just themselves or if they're also looking for their spouse. So we're already finding opportunities to sell multiple policies in the house, right? And you guys may be saying like, okay, what does this have to do with pre-books? Well, we're having them go through all of these hoops before they pre-book. So the people that pre-book are like very high intent leads, right? So they go through, they do the survey, and a very large percentage of your people will do the survey, close to like 50%, which is insane. So after the instant form, you get their data, you have their info. Now you can call them, and then you send those people to a survey to ask them more information. Roughly 50% of people will fill that out, meaning that you have more info that helps you with the sale. Then after they go through the survey, we're going to send them to book on our calendar. So we do all this inside of Go High Level. So we literally just have a page that has our calendar on it. And then there's text that says, perfect, you're pre-qualified for the program. We just need to find exactly which company is going to take you. Click the link down below to, review your options, right? And then essentially what happens is we have the calendar, they book the calendar, they confirm that they're going to show up, right? Again, not everybody's going to show up, but we do the best that we can. We confirm that they're going to show up. And then the last thing we do is we send them automations, right? So what ends up happening is we'll send them automations to get them to like confirm the appointment. So we'll actually send them a text like, hey, I just saw your appointment come through. Just to make sure that we're good for that time, can you make sure to put it in your calendar? Because I know sometimes things get busy, right? And then if they text back saying like, yes, they put it in their calendar, or yes, I'm good to go, the show is like as guaranteed as it can possibly be, right? If they don't text, that's when you start to get a little bit more, issues with shows. But one thing that I recommend everybody to do is whenever you get a pre-booked appointment that comes in, just call the person to confirm the appointment as soon as you get it, and that will boost your show rate tremendously, right? So again, to run through this whole step again, you get the ad on Facebook, goes into an instant form. You're asking them a fill in the blank question where they type in their beneficiary's name, and then a multiple choice question. Yes, I already have life insurance and I'm looking to add more. No, I don't have life insurance and I'm looking to get some, right? Either way, they're buying. Then we send them to a survey that's going to ask them more information. This is on a landing page inside of Go High Level with our CRM. We're going to ask them, health info, if they smoke, like just kind of doing some like basic underwriting stuff so that when we jump on the phone, we already have this info. And we can already start to figure out where we need to go or which company we're going to go with. If they're married, we ask them like if they're looking for themselves and their spouse. So now we know if we're calling about 2 policies instead of 1, which is always better. And then we'll also ask them like what they're looking to cover. Right? So is it a burial? Is it a cremation? Is it mortgage? Like what are you looking to get the insurance for? We ask them those questions as well. And then afterwards, after they filled out the survey, we send them to the calendar where they book. We have automations that go out to them that prompt them to show up for the appointment. And what's really cool actually is this is all a funnel. So it's just funneling down to get them to show up, right? Funneling down from Facebook ad, instant form, landing page, fill out the survey, and then book the appointment and show up. Now, if they fall off at any point, right? Like let's say they come into the funnel, they fill out the Facebook ad, they go through, they do the survey, but they don't book an appointment. Now we have a whole email sequence and text sequence that goes out to them and prompts them and just sends them the link to book the appointment so that we can speak with them, right? So this is all automated in the background, and it's super simple, but effective so that it will work and not like confuse your prospects, right? Same thing here. If they go through, they do the instant form, but then they don't fill in the survey, we have a separate email automation that goes out to them and prompts them to fill out the survey, right? And then also, if they book an appointment and don't show up, we have a separate email and text follow-up to get them to show or rebook the appointment or just reply to the text so that you can set up another time with them. And so the way that this really works, if you guys want to maximize your pre-book percentage and maximize your show percentage, which will ultimately allow you to get more sales, is having automations that like tie this all together, right? So the way that I would recommend building this is using Go High Level. If you guys want to see like a kind of like a tutorial that would show you how to create this on Go High Level, let me know in the comments down below. Or if you would rather just have us build this for you, click the link down below. You can apply to work with us and do our whole like Facebook setup program, where basically we set up your Facebook ads with proven to convert ads, the ones that we're already using that allowed us to generate all of those leads and is allowing our clients to generate tons of leads. We'll set up the whole funnel, the instant form. We have the landing page pre-built for you, the survey, all the automations done for you. If you guys want to learn more about that, there's going to be a link down below in the description so you can apply to work with us. And with that being said, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.